Hi, I'm Jim Cassetta, the local history librarian here at the Pearl River Public Library, and welcome back. Today we're still conducting our 60th anniversary interviews, and we're going to talk with lifelong Pearl River resident Nick DeFelice. Hi, Nick.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Um, we're having our 60 years here on Franklin Avenue.
Yep.
Were you aware of the history of the library? It goes back quite a ways, actually.
Not particularly.
Well, yeah, we had it was in the Unique Club in 1897, then moved to the Hatterler building. Then it went to the Marine Midland Bank building. Then from there to the old brick high school. And then in 1963, we came here. So you're an employee of the library,
Yep.
and that's a great thing. And where were you born?
I was born in, I think it was Nyack Hospital. So I was born here.
You're local.
Yep.
Okay, so how old are you now?
I am 24.
24. You sure about that?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And so for 24 years, you lived in the Pearl River. What was one of your first impressions of living here in Pearl River?
My first impression of living here, it seemed like a nice place. I was a baby because we lived in the same house my whole life. So
Right.
All of the neighbors were nice. The people I went to school with was nice.
So generally,
Yep.
When was the first time your mother took you to the library?
First time I was taken to the library, I think, was either for the summer reading program or probably more likely story time when I was a kid.
And did you enjoy it?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And so it was an enjoyable experience for you.
Yep.
So when you came to the library, you saw it as a positive place. That's great. That's really good. What were the programs aside from those as you started to get older that you attended? Do you remember?
I don't particularly remember attending very many programs at the library. Growing up, I was at the library a lot, but I don't remember going to a lot of programs. There was one or two, I think, was like a movie showing that my parents brought me and my sister to when we were kids.
Okay.
And I also volunteered at a fair few of the programs at the library.
That's great. So you have always been involved with the library. Are you a reader?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. You have that brain that's more mathematically oriented, right, than textural.
But if there's something that I want to read, I'll usually get around to end up reading it. So
Okay, that's great.
I do some reading.
Right. So you're well-rounded that way.
Yep.
So you obviously value the library.
Yes.
Great. And could you imagine a community without a library?
No, because the way I see a library, it's not just a place to borrow and rent books. It's also a place for people to go and get work done and other stuff and have events that they wouldn't be able to hold up in other places, stuff like that.
How large was was socialization here at the library in your life? Was it a place that you came to socialize?
Yeah, when I was in high school, me and my friends would come and hang out in the library, and what is the teen section now was a little different when I was in high school. But
right, this was the outside wall.
Yeah.
When I was here back in the 60s, this was the outside wall, and the library was obviously much smaller.
Yep.
Do you remember the expansion in 1990, 89, 92?
I was not born yet.
Oh, that's right. That's right. My math is lacking, obviously. So you were really the generation that started in the new expanded library and thing. What do you think that the library can do better?
What do I think the library can do better? I'm not really sure.
Okay,
I
that's
think they're
fair
doing pretty
enough.
good as they are at the moment.
Yeah, we're pulling up our way out of the past into the future with technology, coding. There's a lot of local history that people are interested in that I facilitate. Um, Anything you could add to that? What would you like to see?
Um, Nothing much, because what I would have liked to see when I was a kid was the learning lab, because that's relatively new since I was out of high school.
Right.
But that's here. The only other thing is maybe some of the technology in the library could be updated a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
other than that, it's all relatively good.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to hear. At least we're serving all aspects of the community. You know, people your age, they tend to go out to work, and this place just becomes, you know, oh, pick up that book on the weekend or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's the retirees and the very young that make the most of the library with children's programs and situations like that. Now, what does your dad do for a living?
My dad, he works for a company called Rico. He fixes like big industrial printers, like what they would print like telephone bills and stuff like that on.
Mm-hmm. So he's a technician or a mechanic? That's changing too, right? It's a little bit of
Yeah,
both.
I'm not sure what his job title is exactly. I think
Right.
it might be a little bit closer to a technician,
Okay.
but
So that's it. And they grew up in Pearl River also, am I correct?
yes.
Okay. Right. I remember going to school with your aunt. She was in my graduating class. And your mom was always, you know, in the neighborhood here. And
Yep.
I'd see her in situations like that. Um, do you know anything about the history of the town?
I know, or I know of a little bit, not much, because my grandfather, a while ago, a long time ago, was looking into his family history.
Mm-hmm.
And so he did a lot of research into the town and the area around here about stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
I can tell you that when we got Ancestry and uh, other, well, you know, the rudimentary searching, he was here in the library looking up some of the old books and online. He was, I think he came in sometime after we got computers and would do some research too. So you're really a Pearl River type of guy going back generations.
Yep.
That's great. That's interesting. That's great. Well, thank you for talking to us today.
You're welcome.
And we're going to have a lot of programs that we are going to use to celebrate the 60th anniversary. And I hope to see you there.
Sounds fun.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.